If you're a late-blooming trans woman, or you're thinking about starting your transition later in life, this video is for you. There's this pervasive myth in society that it's too late to transition if you're older, or that starting later means you're somehow behind. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's never too late to live your truth. Transitioning, no matter your age, is a powerful, personal, and transformative journey, and there's so much to gain from embracing yourself, no matter when you decide to start. So, let's dive into some tips and advice for those of us who are transitioning later in life, because there are unique challenges and strengths that come with being a late bloomer. The first thing we need to do is completely rewrite the narrative. Society tends to tell us that youth is the only acceptable time to transition. If you're not transitioning in your 20s, you're somehow doing it wrong, right? But that's a lie. The truth is, your age doesn't define your worth or the legitimacy of your journey. In fact, being a late-blooming trans woman means you have so much more to bring to the table. Think about it. You've lived a full life before transitioning. There's wisdom and strength in that experience. You've faced challenges and built resilience. You've gathered a toolkit of emotional resources that younger folks don't have, and that's an advantage. When you decide to transition, it's about aligning with who you truly are, not ticking off boxes on a timeline. So, let's start by letting go of that "I'm too old" mindset. It's just not true. One of the most important steps in your journey is shifting your mindset. It's crucial to challenge the internalized ageism that you may carry, even if it's subtle. The truth is, we live in a world that tells women, and particularly trans women, that we have to meet certain expectations at certain times. If you're not young, perfect, and conventionally feminine, you're often overlooked. But this doesn't mean you aren't beautiful, worthy, or deserving of love and self-acceptance. As a late-blooming trans woman, you have a distinct advantage. You're likely much more in tune with your true self than you realize. You've lived enough life to know what truly matters, what doesn't, and what you want out of your transition. This means you're probably in a stronger position than someone who's starting younger and still figuring all of that out. So, embrace who you are now, with all of your experiences, wisdom, and growth. You're not too old to live your truth. In fact, you're at the perfect stage of life to embrace your full, authentic self. You've earned the right to do that. One of the most crucial parts of any transition is building a support network. Whether you're coming out to your family, friends, or work colleagues, having people around you who understand and support you can make all the difference. But for late-blooming trans women, this might mean starting from scratch in some areas. It's important to surround yourself with people who get it and who will respect your journey. Start by seeking out age-inclusive spaces where you can find others like you. Look for online communities or local support groups where late-blooming trans women can share their experiences and encourage each other. It's so important to find spaces where you won't feel alone or misunderstood. But also, don't forget about the allies in your life. Some of your friends and family might need a little more education on trans issues, especially if they're unfamiliar with the trans experience. Be patient, but also be clear about your needs and your expectations. Having allies can make all the difference in your emotional well-being. And here's something I really encourage: find a mentor. Look for older trans women who've successfully transitioned later in life. Their stories can inspire you, and they can help you navigate the challenges you might face. Now, let's talk about the medical side of things, specifically hormone replacement therapy, HRT, and surgery options. Starting HRT or considering surgeries as a late-blooming trans woman comes with a unique set of considerations. But that doesn't mean it's impossible or even that it's any less effective than for someone younger. When it comes to HRT, medical professionals may need to adjust dosages based on your age and health conditions. Your body may process hormones differently than someone younger, but with the right guidance and care, you can still experience significant changes. It's essential to work with a doctor who understands the needs of older trans women and can tailor a plan that's specific to you. You might also want to adjust your expectations. Hormones may work a bit slower than they would for younger trans people, but that doesn't mean you won't see amazing results over time. Whether it's breast development, skin softening, or changes to your mood, those transformations are real and worth celebrating. And when it comes to surgery options, remember that your body and health are unique. Recovery times may be longer as you get older, and some procedures might carry more risk. But that's okay. You don't have to rush. Take your time and make decisions based on what's right for your body and your life. Coming out later in life can be complicated. You've spent so much of your life presenting in a way that felt comfortable, and now you're making this huge shift. Coming out to your family, friends, and colleagues can feel like an uphill battle, but it's also incredibly rewarding. If you're in a workplace environment, it's important to understand your rights. You don't have to tolerate discrimination, and there are legal protections in place for transgender people. Take the time to educate your workplace and advocate for yourself. But it's not just about legalities, it's about the emotional process of coming out. Be kind to yourself during this time. You've spent so many years keeping this part of yourself hidden, and now you're choosing to reveal it. There's a lot of courage in that. Give yourself the grace to move at your own pace, and don't rush. When it comes to how people perceive you, it can be tough. You might fear being misgendered or facing judgment for transitioning later in life. But here's the thing. Your worth isn't determined by someone else's perception. Be kind to yourself. Focus on the people who support and respect you. Now, let's talk about fashion, makeup, and personal style. For many late-blooming trans women, learning how to dress, style hair, or apply makeup can feel like starting from scratch. But here's the good news. Style doesn't have an age limit. You can express your femininity in a way that feels authentic to you, no matter your age. Finding clothes that fit your body can take some experimentation. But don't be afraid to step outside of the typical gendered fashion advice you may have been given. What's important is that you feel comfortable and confident in what you wear. Whether you're into skirts, jeans, dresses, or whatever else, there are so many options out there for every body type and personal style. If you're new to makeup, start simple. You don't need a full glam routine unless that's something you want. Focus on things like covering beard shadow, enhancing your natural features, or experimenting with different eye looks. Makeup is a fun tool, but it doesn't need to be overwhelming. And as for hair, well, you might be dealing with hair loss or thinning, and that's perfectly okay. There are tons of stylish wigs and hairpieces designed to help you feel confident and beautiful. Play around with different looks until you find what feels right. Transitioning isn't just a physical journey, it's an emotional and psychological one, too. If you've lived most of your life suppressing your true identity, it's completely normal to feel a sense of grief. You may grieve the years you spent not being able to express yourself fully, and that's okay. Therapy can be an essential part of your journey. Seek out a therapist who specializes in gender issues, particularly one who understands the complexities of transitioning later in life. A good therapist can help you navigate those feelings of grief, loss, and sometimes even guilt. It's a space where you can truly process everything you're going through. One thing to remember is to be patient with yourself. Your emotional growth might take longer to catch up with your physical changes, and that's normal. But in time, you'll feel more aligned with who you are, and that's a powerful transformation. Finally, celebrate yourself. This journey is yours, and it's a beautiful, brave path that only you can walk. No matter how old you are when you start, you're still writing your own story. There's no timeline that can define your experience. So, go ahead and take those steps forward. Celebrate every small victory and every major milestone. Embrace your uniqueness. Your journey is a testament to strength, courage, and authenticity. Remember, it's never too late to blossom. Your time is now.
We hope you found the information helpful. We know that being transgender can be a difficult journey, and we want to do our part to make it a little bit easier. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to our channel. It would mean the world to us. You can also support our work by joining our membership. This will help us continue to create content that is helpful and supportive for the community. Thank you again for watching, and we hope to see you next time.